Hi everybody, it's Miss Knutson. I'm back with Tessa, and we wanted to do another fun art lesson with you. Today we are going to talk a little bit about Van Gogh, and we're going to make our own sunflower painting. Today we're also going to talk a little bit about what makes flowers do what they do, and when you are looking at them and you want to draw them or paint them. So much of what we know about how to draw a flower comes from what I like to call our visual memory, which means that you know what a flower looks like. I say flower, and you can picture one in your head. You can see it. And then if I were to say draw a flower, you could pick up your pencil and you could draw one. You don't have to have a flower sitting in front of you to draw a flower. But what I want to challenge you with today is how to observe Van Gogh's beautiful picture of sunflowers and try to analyze and break apart the way he has constructed a picture of a sunflower, or many sunflowers, and see if you can represent his sunflower shapes in your own painting. Let's look at a slide of Vincent van Gogh's sunflowers. Notice how different each flower is. Van Gogh loved nature and desired to represent the things he saw with great emotion. He wanted to create a new way of seeing nature. Let's talk about how to look at a sunflower and how to draw it. It's important to look at the center of the sunflower. The center is a very large circle, but the circle doesn't always face you. Sometimes it is turned away from you, so the circle looks more like an oval. Also, I'd like you guys to observe the shapes of the petals. They are thin, long petals. They aren't shaped like rose petals. As the wind and gravity affect these thin, long petals, they bend around. As the sunflower reaches the end of its life cycle and starts to wilt, notice what happens to the shape of the petals. Notice the texture of the center of the flower. Notice the colors and how they change. The bright yellows become browns, for example. Van Gogh was poor most of his life and was often in the company of laborers and hardworking people. He wanted everyone to be able to have artwork in their homes, and even more specifically, he wanted the poor around him to have sunflowers all the time. As we look at these pictures of Van Gogh's sunflowers and observe the different ways you can draw or paint a sunflower, I want us to challenge ourselves to create unique sunflower shapes. Look at the center and where it's facing. Look at the petals and how they move. Look at the color of the petals. Look at what surrounds the sunflower. So now let's do our best to represent these sunflowers for ourselves. After you have observed a photograph or a slide of Van Gogh's sunflowers, I want you to make some quick sketches of the different angles and shapes that you saw in the sunflowers that Van Gogh painted. You can have the image of Van Gogh's sunflowers pulled up for you to look at. Tessa has it pulled up on our screen here, and so she can observe the sunflowers herself. Here are some sketches I made of the flowers in one of Van Gogh's sunflower paintings. Notice the shape of the center of the flower and the petals. Notice the textures that I've drawn. You only need to draw the faces of the sunflowers for this part of the assignment, so concentrate your energy there. You do not need to draw the exact composition Van Gogh did. You just need to draw the individual sunflower faces you see in his painting. You should be able to fit 2 to 6 faces per piece of paper, depending on how big of a piece of paper you are using. You can do as many sunflower faces as you wish. We will concentrate on the stems in the composition and the vase the sunflowers will be in later on. I'm going to have Tessa draw her own version of these cartoons on a piece of paper, which she will then fill in with a nice, thick, bright paint. Okay? So let's set up the paint for Tessa, and she will paint her sunflower faces. After Tessa finished painting in her sketches of sunflower faces, another thing she did was she created long green stems made out of the same brightly colored paint. Now, each one of your faces you will cut out, and you can also cut out these stems. Our end goal is to either create a vase of sunflowers that can go up on a wall, or it can be a collage that you put on another piece of paper. So you will need stems to attach your sunflower faces to. This will be really fun because you'll get to kind of decide where you want your sunflower faces to go on your paper or on the wall. And you can move them around, especially if you put it on the wall, you can change your mind and move it to a different place. So after you paint in your sunflower faces, make a few stems that your sunflower faces can rest on. Tessa made her own vase, and she made it blue with swirls on it, kind of like Van Gogh's Starry Night painting, okay? So she made her own vase that we will put the stems inside of and then attach the flower faces to those stems. Like I said, you can also attach this vase to a larger piece of paper and then glue or move around the stems and the faces on that larger piece of paper. I think we're going to decorate our schoolroom wall with Tessa's vase, stems, and flower faces.
Farther along, I know all about it. Farther along, understand why. So cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine, will understand.
Here is our finished, assembled Van Gogh Sunflowers project. So when everything was dry and everything was cut out, we assembled it on our schoolroom wall. This is something that you students at home can do by yourself. If you want to do a lot of sunflower faces on your own, you can do it with your brothers and sisters. As a homeschooling family, that will be a great project, especially to brighten up the dull gray days of winter. Or this is a really fun project if anyone is getting together for a homeschool co-op, or if you teach an art class. This project is wonderful. But I really love Tessa, and I added a few faces on here too. But Tessa and I did this together, and it is a really fun project when you're studying Van Gogh. A really fun project if you're studying any sort of flowers, or especially sunflowers, because it shows lots of different phases of the life cycle of the sunflower. So enjoy this project, add it to your curriculum, make it part of your cheery schoolroom for a little while. And if you don't want to put it on your wall or you don't have a space to put it, it makes a really fun collage project that students can decide where the pieces will move on the page. So enjoy this project. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. And I will see you next time when we do another project. Bye, guys. The main changes I made when I did it with a class of about 13 students is I had each student make one sunflower. And then I made a large vase. My vase was pretty big, you know. I had multiple classes because I teach about 4 classes. I had about 27, 28 students do. Each one of them did a sunflower face. They used Van Gogh's sunflower visual aid. They drew their own sketch. They painted in with brightly colored paint. And then when it was dry, I cut them out, cut the vase out, and I assembled them all on the wall. I'll show you guys my finished product from my class at the end of this video. It's the biggest sunflower display I've had on my classroom wall yet. So it was pretty impressive. When nobody's absent, everybody does the project and has time for it to dry, and then you cut them out. Wow, it is a pretty big display.
So cheap.